All right, that's running. Mics look good.
Testes, testes. One,
One,
two,
two,
three.
three. All right. All right. So, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2. And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avantes, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? This is the last day of the month as we record this. So when everybody's listening to this, they'll be starting their February grind.
That's right.
I'm excited for the state of Hearthstone. I do think we're going to get into a little bit of a lull, but the meta is really on its heels right now, which is surprising to say. But we did see the new mini set. But we'll talk more about that here and when we get to the news. How's your week?
Busy, long.
Yeah.
Very little Hearthstone played this week. Lost the transmission on the car my son was driving on Monday, and then had to play car shuffle and had to go out of town for work on Wednesday, and just a lot of running around and not enough time for anything else. So I did get a couple of duels and battlegrounds in this week.
Yeah.
Just to knock out some of my daily or some of my weekly quests. But yeah, that's about it. I have 3 backed up dailies I need to do tonight, and I still need to finish my Win 5 weekly.
So yeah, I mean, my week's been good. Very busy work week. So I haven't had a lot of Hearthstone time because I've kind of collapsed when I've gotten home, or I've done something else like watch anime or watch WandaVision. If you haven't checked out WandaVision, you should check it out.
Oh my gosh, the new
it's
episode's
getting good.
Phenomenal.
If you've only watched the first 3 or any of the first 3 episodes, and you say it's not yours, not your type of show, at least watch the 4th episode before you give up on it, because it's starting to tie together.
Yeah, absolutely. And no spoilers. No spoilers. But when I finished episode 4 this week, I actually went back and rewatched one of the MCU movies.
Yeah. I went back and rewatched the first 3 episodes because for me, and again, no spoilers, but for me it was a slow burn, and I was kind of like, where's the hook? And you usually get the hook in the first episode or 2.
Yeah.
And the hook really isn't until later.
Right. Yeah.
But I went back and watched the first 3 episodes because to me it was kind of like Fight Club-ish. Where you miss things. Now that you know more, you go back and see things. So so far I like WandaVision. I don't love it. But I think it's going to be one of those
I've enjoyed it. I can't really complain too much. That the first episode, I told my son this last night when we were talking about it. I trudged through the first episode. In fact, I actually fast forwarded through parts of the first episode, and then watched all of episode 2, 3, and 4, and now the payoff is phenomenal. But this is not a WandaVision podcast.
It isn't. It is. But as for my Hearthstone, I'm in phone it in mode into THL because I'm having a horrible season. Our team as a whole, unfortunately, is having a bad season. I know a lot of our members are dealing with some real life stuff, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 0-5 on the season, or 0-6 on the season. I think we've clinched a loss this week, and I am 1-5 for the season. So we got one more week, and then the season's done for us. So
Okay.
it's been rough, but this meta has been kind of rough on me, and the last 2 days I have played a lot of duels.
Yeah.
Because I'm just enjoying the new stuff from the patch 19.4, and to kind of talk about a little bit of what we talked about last week. Patch 19.4 hit, and I like the new cards. The meta's kind of on its heel. My ladder time is good. I'm actually sitting at a higher ladder than I normally would, because I'm getting higher quality games when I'm just playing one deck and focusing on one deck. It's when I have to play multiple decks in a Conquest format that I've been having trouble with Hearthstone.
Right.
So we're going to be playing a deck this week that I'm playing on the ladder to much success, though I don't know how much longer it will last. Either it'll get nerfed or somebody will figure it out, and I'm finding people are already figuring it out.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing the Ramp Paladin this week.
Ramp Paladin.
Yes. We
will
talk more about that.
I do not think that word means what you think it means.
We will definitely talk about that in the second half of the show. But I'm playing a greedy list, and that's the list we're going to play this week. I was sitting at like a 78% win rate. I got up into like 1.5K legend, kind of sitting in that zone, and now people are starting to figure it out or learn how to play against or what decks beat it. So I'm sitting now right at 60%, so it's still doing me good. But that's pretty much been my week. Let's get into the news.
Yeah, so last week, as you said, we talked about patch 19.4. Well, this week we're talking about patch 19.4.1, which dropped on January the 28th. So this brought a couple of small changes, one of which was a constructed change for the card Hysteria, which just came out in the Races, Dark Moon Races mini set. And basically, Hysteria said, choose a creature, it attacks until it dies. And now it's been changed to only target an enemy minion.
Yeah.
And that minion will attack until it dies.
So this is a Priest Warlock card, and a lot of your heavy Priest Warlock players, I know one specifically in our community, Wicked Good, is not happy with this change because it really adjusts your flexibility, especially in the Priest class. You can't Apotheosis a minion and then Hysteria it, and all of a sudden you get tons of health. You can't pop out the a 0 cost the Warrior Prime that gives you 10 armor every time it kills a minion, and then Hysteria it, which was a viable option for survivability in that deck in the late game. So it's, I don't like the change, but obviously the change was needed because the old version broke Wild.
Yes, and this is kind of where you and I differ on Hearthstone, because for you, pretty much the only thing that matters is Standard. Because you live, breathe Standard, you play Standard in all your leagues. I mean, that's all that really is there. But there's a whole huge community of this game that has nothing to do with Standard, and this card completely broke their ability to play Hearthstone.
Oh, I agree, and I do play Wild. I was dual legend for 6 months straight in a row last year, so I mean, I do get into Wild. I like Wild, and it's kind of my side chick. Whenever I'm tired of playing Standard, I go over to Wild. But like I said, I don't like this change, but I do believe this change was needed. Now, do I think there could have been another change with the way that Tiller worked or the way that Death Speaker worked? Yes, I think there could have been a better change that only affected
I,
Wild.
I mean, if you change Tiller though, in any way, it pretty much just no longer exists.
That's not true. That's not true. Make it so it only does the 2 damage on the first attack.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then it does the 2 damage like it would, like the card functions, and then it continues and doesn't continue doing 2 damage.
Yeah.
Because there's no other combo, no other scenario that card's been used that interaction is pivotal.
Okay.
More than once in a turn. So I personally think they could have changed Tiller. I think Death Speaker could have also been changed for making it only immune for 1 attack, though that coding wise might not have been as easy to do.
And that might be the reason behind this, is it may be a coding issue. Again, same thing with Tiller only doing damage after the first attack. How do you like, how exactly behind the scenes do you say, okay, you're done, no more damage?
And that probably is why they needed the fix quickly, and this fix doesn't involve getting engineering involved.
Yeah.
So I do hope that when Hysteria does rotate, or maybe after they do whatever they're doing with the reworks for standard, for classic and basic, that maybe Hysteria can eventually go back to its former glory. Because I like the flexibility of being able to target any minion, mine or my opponent's, and have that effect. And now if you're playing against an aggro deck, then you can't throw down a big health minion and then do it on your own minion to clear their board. You only have to choose their minions, and they'll probably only trade into 1, possibly 2 minions, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it does dramatically reduce the effectiveness of this card. However, it is still very effective because I play it in my Quest Envoy Warlock, and I'm getting great results even after the nerf. So I don't think this is a dust it now, it's a dead card. I do think it's very playable. I think the old version might even been a borderline overpowered for the mana cost. But again, I would have liked to seen a change that didn't hamper the control decks, specifically Priest, more than Warlock in the current standard meta, because Priest does not have good board based removal right now.
Right.
And I think Hysteria gave them what they needed for sustain and board based removal. And now they don't really have it. A lot of the Priest lists are cutting it. And that kind of, that stinks. But, it is what it is. And I think the meta in all of Hearthstone is for the better. Because obviously in Wild, it was just broken.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you had to race it, and you literally had to beat it by turn 7. Maybe even 6, depending if they had the coin or a way to cheat anything out. So I know a lot of the greedy lists were running a Thorson, so they get 1 Thorson tick off, and then they could do it even faster. But other than that, there were a bunch of duels balance changes. We're not going to go into all of them, but a lot of these changes were based on the most recent patch that added more hero powers and more cards into the duels format. I went in and played a lot of duels this weekend, and so one notable is Death's Game. Trigger a minion's death.
I think this is the most important change.
The old one was trigger a minion's death rattle. Now it says trigger a random friendly minion's death rattle. So first off, it's random, which severely reduces it, and it only hits friendly. you could target your enemy's minions.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if they had some adverse death rattles that they didn't want to go off at a certain time, you could have it go off right then. So the flexibility's gone. I played against a lot of hunter that either, maybe they had a run going or maybe they didn't know the change,
Mm-hmm.
and I was mowing over them. Not like super consistently, but it's fairly consistent. Um, the next one I wanted to talk about is also in Hunter, is the signature treasures. This is a big one too. Is the Bone Crusher, little pink bunny?
Yes, I love this card.
It was a 6 mana 5/3, which gets me. It's not a beast. Why is it not a beast?
I don't know. But
So it was
now.
beast, rush, death rattle, summon 2 other minions with death rattle that died this game. Well, now it's a beast and it's 8 mana.
Yes.
So it's like a buff and a nerf.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the original wasn't a beast. It was really weird. And then the last one I want to talk about is Royal Greatsword. Now, this is one of my favorite treasures, and I've always loved it. It's a 6 mana 6/3 paladin weapon. It's one of their treasures. After you attack, summon a legendary minion from your deck. Well, now it's 5 mana.
Yes, they reduce the mana cost by 1. Everything else stays the same. This card is really good.
Haven't had a chance to play it. I just haven't been getting Terralion as an option.
Good. Blizzard got my email then. Okay, great.
the one I've had the most fun with didn't get any nerfs or buffs or any changes in this patch, but it came last patch was Razorgore or Rattlegore. There's a hero power that every time you have armor, it shuffles a bomb into your opponent's deck. Okay. I am at the end of your turn, if you have armor, it shuffles a bomb into their deck.
Yeah.
I pick that every time now. It's probably my favorite. It's really hard to get to pull off because a lot of the gain armor cards, unless you're going to play a Cthulhu deck, which is what I've been doing, aren't in the duels rotation. So maybe later it'll get stronger when there are more, but I've been really enjoying it. I haven't been getting crazy wins, getting like 4 and 5 wins with it, but I'm just having a lot of fun with duels right now. Yeah. Now that I think I said this before, I liked duels, but I wasn't really invested when it only had, 2 hero powers and a couple treasures, or then it had 3 hero powers and 3 treasures. Now that we have a full 3 hero powers and 6 treasures, I'm loving it because it allows me to go in and choose a lot of different variety. And also I'm not seeing a lot of cookie cutter opponents anymore because there's a lot of more variance in what they can pick. And it is still tedious trying to pick the 16 cards I want in there, especially when I'm on my phone, laying in bed and I'm playing on mobile. So I'll build my deck on the computer, and then when I'm laying in my bed, I'll just play the games. But I'm really enjoying duels right now, and I know when there's rotations, they're going to have to change the pool sets and that kind of stuff. I hope they don't do this trickle thing again where rotation hits and we're back to 2 hero powers and 3 treasures and then we get a 3rd hero power later. And I hope they just give us the 3 and 6 every time.
Right.
I don't know if that's realistic, but that's what I hope happens. I don't want to go back to having less options and then not getting later options till later in the year.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, well, so yeah, there's a few more duels changes. You can read about those in our show notes if you are so inclined. There was also some bug fixes. There's one notable one.
Yep.
So
the collection achievements weren't syncing properly, so it was saying you were missing cards when you weren't missing cards, and you were getting the little tick on it saying that you had achievements to collect, even though there were no achievements to
The
collect.
most annoying thing in the world.
That drove. I know it's just a aesthetic thing, but whenever I see those dots, this is a problem I had when we play Marvel Strike Force that I've recently had to get over because I need to save stuff for future characters.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate seeing those little dots. Oh, you have unopened packages, and I've noticed since I've gotten used to it in Marvel Strike Force, I actually have packs in Hearthstone I haven't opened for the same reason. That I want to save. I want to save my classic packs until the next
Yeah.
rework or whatever. I want to save. I want to save packs that I have full sets of till I just need dust, and then I'll just open the packs and get the
Yeah.
dust. So,
Yeah.
this is a good change. I'm really happy that they made this change because it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And then finally, this isn't part of 19.4.1. This is actually part of the 19.4 patch that we talked about last week. Is the Book of Heroes Anduin, which looks really, really interesting because the cover art has Anduin dressed up like an SI7 agent. And that ties a little bit into his backstory. That comes out February 2nd, which is Tuesday. So if you're listening to this on a download, tomorrow, Book of Heroes Anduin should come out.
Yeah.
And there should be an Anduin bundle that has some packs, some rogue cards, rogue packs, and the portrait, which I'm really... a lot of people are really, really excited about this portrait, especially your rogue players are like, wait, I can play rogue in priest? I'm sold. So they get to have a rogue portrait when they play priest.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. I like that the Book of Heroes are starting to crank out, and as they've gone on, and you and I talked about this before the show, it's gotten a little bit more difficult. And you're kind of hung up on the Uther one right now.
Yes. So I finally got around to finishing the Garrosh and started on Uther, and now I'm hung up on that darn portal battle in the Uther campaign. I've done it about 30 times and just can't seem to get through it. They always just kind of snowball and kill me before I can do enough damage to the portal.
Yeah. So that's something we've talked about before is the one thing I don't like about these Book of Heroes is you're given a curated deck and it kind of just, it changes, the hero power changes, the deck changes each go. You don't get to build a deck.
Right.
You don't get to draft cards like you would a dungeon run. You don't have any control over how to beat the encounter other than just the way you play your cards, because drawing the cards are random. So if you fail on something, it's either because you made a poor play or because you didn't draw properly, which isn't really in your control.
Right.
So I wish there was a little more agency and I could swap these cards out, or maybe it does like Duels where you build 16 cards and then it fills the rest of your deck out for cards that are meant for that encounter or would be good for that encounter.
Yeah.
From a random curated pool. I don't know how they fix it. But that's the only thing I don't like, because you asked me, you said, hey, I'd like you to sit with me and help me through that encounter. And I'm like, I'll help you, but I don't know what I can do because I can't give you a list. I can't suggest certain cards, like we could with other adventures. So maybe that's something they work on in the future. The replayability for it is zero. Once you beat it, you beat it. You've learned the story and all that. So I know it's a tender act for them to try to get solo content perfect. And I think they've hit the mark when it comes to telling the story this time, but they missed the mark on playability.
Right.
And I enjoy it. Overall, I think it's a good product, and I'm glad they put it out. But so far, they've gotten better, mainly because of the encounters are more unique and the story's better. But the playability is still, and the flexibility is zero. They give you a deck and you just have to roll with what you draw. I do know they do try to make sure that certain cards are drawn at certain times and things like that, but I don't know. I don't know how they fix it. Another thing that happened with, I don't know if it was with this patch or it was after this patch, is we've started seeing targeted bundles showing up in the shop. Have you seen this?
Yes. So I had the $30 bundle show up in game on my primary account. And I know other people that I've talked to have seen a $9 bundle, which includes like one legendary and some packs. Mine had two legendaries and some packs.
Uh-huh.
And I also think there was a $19.99 bundle that people were talking about as well, that
Yes.
had two legendaries in it. So
There's also a pass that a few people have reported on Twitter that is the Duels tickets.
yeah, for $4.99.
Like you just get a bunch of Duels tickets for heroic duels. So it's, I don't know if it is using targeted marketing algorithms that are seeing what do you play, what do you spend your most time in, and maybe they offer bundles that either associate with that or maybe go away from that.
Yeah.
Now, Ridiculous Hat did a lot of like number crunching and talking to people that play similar to him and talking to people that play different, like they just play on constantly battlegrounds and things like that, and he couldn't find a correlation. Some people got bundles that matched up similar to their play, like I did, where it was a $30 bundle for packs for mainly standard constructed, and some people got stuff that was away from their format. There's even a wild bundle that some people have gotten. Some of the wild players have gotten it, and some of the players that don't play wild at all have gotten it. So
Right.
this might just be a kind of like a testing ground where marketing is testing out. We'll take this pool of players that all play a certain way. They play standard constructed. We'll give a 20% of them a Battlegrounds bundle, a 20% of them, with the Tavern Pass or something.
Yeah.
A 20% of them Duels bundle, 20% a Wild bundle, and a standard. And maybe they're trying to see of those players what percentage bought what bundles.
Well,
people want to buy something they don't play.
Yeah, I do want to point out that if you got the $9.99 bundle or the $29.99 bundle, and you were like, I don't want to spend $30, or I wish I had gotten a bigger bundle, you can go to shop.battle.net and you can buy the $20 bundle directly from the store.
Oh, so you can buy the other bundle.
That
wasn't offered to
only
you.
Only the $19.99 bundle is available in the store. People who got the $19.99 bundle have reported still seeing the $19.99 bundle on the store.
Yeah, and I think Garrett from the Angry Chicken, you should check out the most recent episode. That he did an episode with Ridiculous Hat, and he got one bundle gifted to him, and then was offered the same bundle in the store. And usually those bundles you can only get one copy of.
Right.
So for Science, he decided, and it was a $30 bundle, if I'm not mistaken. He decided he would buy it on his account to see if he got it twice, and sure enough, he did.
Wow.
So he got the one that was gifted to him, and then he got the one that he bought, and that was a total of 4 legendaries from Dark Moon Fair and 70 Dark Moon Fair packs. So, obviously, this is something that the marketing team is trying to figure out, and I don't mind it so much. I don't know if it means anything. Do you think it means something? Is there something we might be getting announced at BlizzCon Live that might correlate with this?
Do I think it means anything? As the Hearthstone community would like to say, small indie company is greedy and looking for more ways to collect our money. So they're going to offer more bundles. Okay.
I don't mind. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're just greedy. They're trying to get money." Of course they are. They're a business. They want to stay afloat.
Small indie company. Come on.
all jokes aside, I don't. None of these bundles have been like a must buy. I've noticed that
I agree.
none of them had cosmetics, no portraits, no card backs, which is a lot of the reason why I buy bundles. If I see something that I can't get any other way, and packs I can get other ways, then I'm usually going to buy them in Hearthstone because I want to have all the shinies. I want to have all the options. And none of those made me feel like, oh, I have to have that. Or this person was offered a portrait and I didn't get offered that portrait. Now I don't get that portrait and I got angry. I did not get any of those feelings. I think this is a good thing. Any way they can make money without making the players feel bad is fine by me. And so I think this is not only a good thing, because if they put their energy into trying to make extra money this way instead of trying to gouge us or force us to buy things because they tie a portrait to it or cosmetics to it, and I don't mind the Book of Heroes cosmetic bundles because that's kind of themed with the Book of Heroes. But when they used to put out really good bundles that I didn't need because I had all the cards, and they would just tie a portrait to it, and I was like, well, now I have to buy it.
Right.
Which I know I don't have to buy it, but that's how I feel as a dedicated player to the game.
As a whale, yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, so yeah, that was pretty much everything that hit this week. So
we did get a Tavern Brawl.
We did get a Tavern Brawl, and it's a repeat Tavern Brawl.
And I wanted to, I know it's a repeat. It's Clone Ball. The Legends of Azeroth are playing Clone Ball. Your team is random legends, each cloned 4 times. Go get them, champ. I won and done, well, 2 and done this. I lost the first game. But it leads me to a question. This is the second clone-themed Tavern Brawl we've had in a row. Last week it was Attack of the Clones, I think is what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that a hint for something, or are they just going in alphabetical order on the Tavern Brawl list?
Who knows with them at this point? I don't know that I would read too much into it.
Well, the only reason I ask is we are on the precipice of BlizzConline, which is in like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So obviously news is going to get scarce, and leaks are going to start being scrounged for. This would be normally about the time we keep our radars open for various leaks or hints on the next expansion, but we don't. Normally it's BlizzCon, and then within a month we have the next set. We don't know that for sure this time. A lot of speculations and hints are towards us having a major change, which is assumed to be a set and rotation in March. But some of the evidence we see with certain bundles only being available until April 11th and things like that tell me that the set's going to be in April.
Yeah.
So kind of just speculating real quick. Obviously, we don't want to go into it too deep. We'll have 3 more weeks to do this. Do we think we can expect leaks or not leaks? You never expect leaks, but hints or speculations on the next set to be announced at BlizzCon?
Yes. I have said since they announced BlizzConline that I expect the next set to be announced at BlizzConline.
I'm starting to think no, and the reason is they do the preparatory for BlizzCon, obviously, and then they have the preparation side by side for the new set, because when the new set's announced at BlizzCon, the website goes live. You can start seeing the initial 6, 7, maybe 13 cards that they revealed at BlizzCon, things like that. I think we'll get a set announced, but I don't think they'll give us all the information then. I think they're going to say,
like, they have to give us something. What's the point?
Oh, yeah.
What's the point of wasting our time to tune in to BlizzConline if they're not going to give us anything?
So my speculation is we're going to be told, here's the new set name, this is the theme, but we're not going to be given any mechanics or anything special about the set. They'll tell us those will be announced in the coming weeks. And then boom, they change the slide and they start talking about the new rework. I think we get the rework for
Basic and
standard,
classic.
for basic and classic, for standard. I think we get a rework for the full constructed format. I think we get a rework for the way standard is, so the basic and classic rotating out and what sets are in it. And I think we get a new format like a 1.5.
That would excite me.
And possibly changes to wild. And all that goes live in March.
Yeah.
But the actual rotation and new set coming out isn't until April. Because if we looked at the esports schedule, nothing gets going until after April 11th.
Okay.
So that's my speculation. That's my hot take. We will probably get more teases about BlizzConline in the coming weeks, and we will definitely talk about them in future episodes. So that's my initial hard take. It's subject to change based on what we hear or don't hear. And yeah, let's wrap up the first half of the show by talking about this week's deck.
Yeah. So Ramp Paladin.
Yes.
As the deck title says, WTF is this? So
yes, that's what I did. So when I took this initial deck, I was like, what is this? And so I was like, you know what? That's what I'm naming this deck.
Yeah.
Because I at the time they weren't calling it Ramp Paladin. They were calling it like a Murloc Paladin. And I was like, this is a Murloc Paladin. And truthfully, it really is. So go over the deck, and I will try to explain it.
All right, here's the deck list. 2 Armor Vendor, 1 Acidic Swamp Ooze, 2 Crab Riders, Murger McGurgle, 2 Red Scale Dragon Tamers, 2 Wand Makers, 2 Murloc War Leaders, 2 Underlight Angling Rods, 2 Fishy Flyers, High Abyss Allura, Nozdormu the Timeless, you got 1 Carousel Griffin, then you got 2 Strongman, 2 Tip the Scales, 2 Carnival Clowns, 1 Dark Moon Rabbit, 1 N'Zoth God of the Deep, 2 Scrapyard Colossus, and 1 Yasharj the Defiler. This almost seems like Big Paladin instead of Ramp Paladin.
So this deck is nutty. Okay, now there are quite a few versions of this. If you look on HS Replay, you look on Vicious Syndicate, there are multiple 5, 6 different variants of this deck. They all have the same concept. A lot of Murlocs, a little bit of late game with N'Zoth and maybe Yasharj or both, depending. A lot of lists are only one or the other. And they all have one thing in common. And it is High Abyss Allura and Tip the Scales.
Okay.
So the original version that I saw of this actually had the 0 mana spell that gave you one mana minions.
Yeah.
But you didn't want High Abyss Allura to pull that on accident. So what you have is you have High Abyss Allura, and if you're on the coin, the win rate with High Abyss Allura in hand is like, I think they said 94%, 95%.
Wow.
Ridiculous. So, but the combo is you Wand Maker to get a 1 mana spell, and then on 5 you Allura, play the spell, and it casts Tip the Scales, and pulls a bunch of Murlocs out of your deck on turn 5, and your opponent usually cannot deal with them.
Gotcha.
The other combo in this deck, this is the greedy version, is Red Scale Dragon Tamer, which is a 2 mana 2/3 Murloc that has a death rattle to draw a dragon from your deck, and it will always draw Nozdormu the Timeless because it's the only dragon in your deck. Okay. Now there is a list that runs the Circus Amalgams to go along with a more mid to late game with N'Zoth, but this list does not do that, so you will always draw Nosdormu. Then you play Nosdormu on 4, putting you to 10 mana. Most decks right now don't take a full advantage of those 10 mana. And then on 10 mana, you can throw down a Scrapyard Colossus. You can Dark Moon Rabbit, whatever they decided to play that turn with their 10 mana, or you can tip the scales from hand. Therefore, bringing back those Murlocs and loading your board up again on turn 5. The ultimate goal is you want a board full of minions on turn 5. That's pretty much how you win. You can draw poorly with this deck. I was running at an over 70% win rate with this deck for the first few days, and now I'm down to around 60. But it's still a very solid deck. It has trouble with Rogue, which right now Rogue is very good. So unfortunately, I mean, all the other Paladins had trouble with Rogue too. So it's not like it's losing to something that the other Paladins beat anyway. So it still has the same bad matchups. If you're playing Conquest, you're probably going to want to ban Rogue when you play this list, as you would with any Paladin list. Yeah. But this deck is a ton of fun, which is why I'm playing it. Because, I mean, I don't know how many times I just fill my board with Murlocs on turn 5, and my opponent just concedes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, so why not just Allura on 4 and then coin to fill the board?
Yeah. That's why I said when you have the coin, the win rate is like
it just goes up
astronomical.
Because I mean, you had talked about using one maker to get a one spell, but you're not guaranteed a one spell. So, are you with one maker?
Oh yeah. Okay. It gives you a one. It gives you
a one.
It doesn't not a card. It gives you a 1 mana
spell. Okay. Okay, so, I thought it was just a random spell, but yeah.
No. It gives you a 1 mana spell. It's always 1 mana. Okay. So your mulligans are kind of, it depends on what your starting hand is. If you have the red scale in hand, then you probably don't need to try to mulligan for the wand maker and the Allura. But if you have the wand maker or Allura, you could probably throw back the red scale.
Yeah.
If you are on the coin, you just want a mulligan for Allura.
Right.
You might keep a red scale for one copy. I wouldn't keep. If I got 2, I wouldn't keep 2, just for early pressure and to get those Dormu.
Yeah.
But if you have Allura and you're on the coin, you know what your turn 5 play is. It's 100%. You're going to dump Allura down. Yeah. If you're on the coin and you have Allura in hand, you pretty much won that game.
Okay.
Now, it does bring an interesting question. Will there be an emergency nerf to Allura coming up soon? Which is weird because nothing in this deck other than Crab Rider is really from the new set. And Crab Rider is good with Tip the Scales, but it's not like the card that made this deck good.
So
I don't know why. I've seen this deck before, but it hasn't performed to this level. So I'm thinking the most recent nerfs have lowered other decks down.
Yeah. So what do you think that nerf could look like? High Abyss Allura going to 5 or 6 mana?
I think High Abyss Allura going to 5. I don't think she needs to go to 6. But I think if she went to 5, because if she goes to 5, then this play happens on 5 at the earliest. On 6 then. So it usually happens on 6, unless you have the coin, of course.
Yeah.
And usually, at least the mages can blizzard the board. There's lots of different ways to do things with 1 extra mana for other classes to kind of counter that play. Now, I hope they don't nerf it, because I honestly think this deck is a flash in the pan. I think its win rates are going to start tanking once people start knowing how to tech. Some people are saying there's no way to counter this. There are ways to play not necessarily tech cards, but ways to play to be ready for this, ways to mulligan to be ready for this deck. And I'm seeing a lot of high-level players where I'm at in Legend, which is around the 3,000 mark, that are doing well against this deck. But it's still so much fun to play, so I just keep jamming it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's going to pretty much, I think, do it for us this week. If you are joining us on YouTube, please stay tuned as we go run this deck. I'm interested in seeing this played. I don't have, I'm missing a couple of the cards for this deck, so I'm really interested to see this get played. So if you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOgamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alrighty then. I am in and ready to go. If
I have spectate on. I had to turn it on because I played my THL match. And I'm spinning the dial.
All right, spinning the dial. Waiting to see that.
All right, I'm into a game now.
I'm showing you doing battle, but can't. It's not giving me the option to spectate anybody. Not just you, anybody. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold this mulligan out for a little bit here.
All right, tell us what we're facing.
So we're facing a druid named Bear Tank.
Okay.
That's fitting.
Okay.
I've gotten a Zoth, War Leader, Fishy Flyer, and Crab Rider in hand.
So
I'm gonna keep.
We're on the coin.
We're on the coin. So I'm hard mulliganing for Abessalora, but I'm gonna keep the Crab Rider. And the reason I'm gonna keep the Crab Rider is just in case this is a token druid. There is a possibility it could be token. And if it's token, I want to be able to get rid of those early minions.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna mulligan everything else though,
except the Crab Rider.
Except the Crab Rider.
Yep. And I got Scrapyard Colossus, High Bessalura, and Strong Man.
Okay. Okay.
So we're on the coin with High Bessalura in our hand.
So we can get it off on 4.
Yep. We can get it off on 4.
All right.
We wouldn't mind seeing a 1 maker at this point. Lightning Bloom on turn 1.
Into Fungal Fortunes.
This is that tree ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's 1 maker.
There's 1 maker. Do we just...
That gives us
a play on 2.
Yes. We have a play on 2 with Crab Rider, depending on when he plays.
Yeah.
We don't want to use the coin right now.
Right.
But what that does is we'll play 1 maker. And that'll give us a card to play with the mana from the coin.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So we'll on 4 we'll High Bessalura. Oh yeah, Hand of Protection's really good too.
Yeah.
High Bessalura, coin, and then Hand of Protection on something. We can Hand of Protection on a rushing.
So they're gonna Overgrowth.
Fire. Oh my gosh. There's no Dormammu.
Do we just play attack, play the Crab Rider, and pass, or
what that'll do is next turn when we pull, if he plays any big minions, when we pull the War Leaders, the Crab Rider will be buffed.
Okay.
So yes, I like that. So I'm hoping I thought this would be the spell variant.
Lunar Eclipse.
And then second Overgrowth.
Runic Carvings.
Okay, this is good.
Aeroponics.
So this is a variation of that it's called Spell
Yeah.
Druid.
We just drew Murger.
So we're going to High Bessalura.
Yep.
Coin. See what we get. So we can trade 2 of these fishy flyers in.
And there's the concede.
I was going to put the Hand of Protection on the Crab Rider so it would actually survive till next turn.
Yes, yeah.
But that's how it goes. Told you. Turn 4.
That druid had a good start too.
He did have a good start. He probably was about to pop off.
Yeah.
So let's get into the next game.
Wow.
This isn't built to be an aggro deck, but again, it's built to be a late game kind of mid-rangey deck.
Yeah.
And play the long game. But it has a combo that can just pop off on turn 5.
Yeah.
Now, do you get that every single game?
Turn 4 that game. Turn 4.
Yeah. Well, because we had the coin turn 4.
Right.
Usually it's turn 5.
All right. Playing against another
paladin
paladin
go first.
here.
So
We
this
are
is
going first. So.
Probably a mirror. It could be pure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just keep the Underlight Angling Rod.
Throw back the War Leader and the Griffin.
So I can deal with whatever he puts out and have some more pressure.
Okay. We got Crab Rider and Yasarj.
Not the greatest hand, but it's not the worst I've had. Big cards. I'm hoping we can get a Red Scale Dragon Tamer or Nosdormu the Timeless. Yeah. And I wouldn't hesitate to drop Nosdormu on 4 with this hand.
Okay.
A lot of people will just do it on 4 and not have a lot of follow-up.
There's a fishy flyer.
Do we just Crab Rider
I think, yeah.
And dink it down a little bit?
Yeah.
So that if he does buff it, we can still trade with the Underlight Angling Rod?
Underlight Angling Rod, yep.
So not a lot of people were really high on Crab Rider because Murloc wasn't in a good spot, but it's doing work.
Yeah. There's Hyabus.
Now we just need the Wand Maker.
Yeah.
Trade there, see what we get. Ooh, Underbelly Angler.
That's not bad at all, yeah.
Underbelly Angler is definitely not bad. Again, we're leaning towards a late game here.
Yeah.
And this looks like he's running, it's either Libram or Pure Libram.
Yep.
Not enough evidence to tell us which one.
He's played one card out of his deck so far.
Yeah, Pure is kind of the popular version of the two.
I actually just built Pure Libram for the first time. Okay.
Man, we're heavy.
Do we fishy flyer here? Or do we play the underbelly and clear with our face?
I think what we do is we swing with our face first and see what
we get.
Murloc we get. We might get a buff Murloc. We got McGurgle, so we can play the Angler and then McGurgle.
I like that. Yeah, and then go face twice.
Yep. Give us another fishy flyer. So we've got plenty of single target board clears. We got 4 rush, 4/3 minions. So
yeah.
I would have liked to have gotten a Wand Maker in the last 2 turns. Usually what I tend to do is if on 7 I have not seen any way to a spell, I've seen a Wand Maker, I will just play HPEpisode254
Yeah.
just to get her out of my hand.
There's the other fishy flyer. So I think we just clear with the fishy flyer and the 1/1 and the 2/1.
Let's play the fishy flyer.
See what we
see
get.
if we can get the 1 mana buff minion. We didn't. Ooh, we got
Sir Finley. Okay.
That's interesting. So we fishy flyer. Well, yeah, we'll have to put everything except for the angler into it.
Correct.
That crab rider did his job. Proud of him. We are dealing with a little bit of hand space issues.
We are, yeah. We're gonna have to play, and in playing multiple Murlocs isn't gonna help us because of the angler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can obviously do the spectral next turn.
Yeah. That's still a Murloc.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the fishy flyer is going to give us a spectral, and we'll get a Murloc.
Yeah.
We might just have to play HPEpisode254 just to give us space.
Speaking of,
so this isn't going to be a tip to scales.
Nope.
Oh, so he got double
first day of school.
He'll have hand space. That's smart. That's smart. He needs to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So we can angler that down. He's going to buff it. Okay, leave him. We can't angler it down. There's the red scale.
There's the red scale, yeah.
So I think we red scale and Allura.
Do you? Because, I mean, now we're not going to be getting more Murlocs in our hand, so we could start to empty our hand.
We can, but we can't really deal with that. His Allura right now, and our Allura will give him a target. He has to clear that. But honestly, he doesn't have to clear it because we're going to just get Nosdormu.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have a way to cheat out Tip the Scales.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So we're just going to hard cast Tip the Scales if we draw it.
Oh, yeah. At this point, we'll hard cast it because we'll either get Nosdormu, we can be at 10 mana, or we'll be at 8 mana. We'll probably end up playing Nosdormu on 10. We have kind of turned into the control deck now.
Yeah.
Because look at our hands.
Right.
If we can start dumping these 10 costs, we're gonna have the late game.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Okay. See, that's what I wanted him to do. And then I'll trade the red scale into it. That's interesting.
There's something great inside.
Reporting for duty.
So we trade this into the 4/2. And then what? So that could be Noble Sacrifice.
Right, which would not kill our not kill our Dragon Tamer.
So I think we Spectral Flyer and War Leader and take out the Light Warden with the Spectral Flyer.
Okay.
And then whatever secret pops. Okay, nothing. But now we take this out. And that'll give us Nosdormu. The another thing is deck thinning is a thing.
Yeah.
And that's something important to know too, is being able to thin your deck out. Okay, so he's not the pure variation. Smash him.
All right.
There isn't a lot of heal in this deck. Really, there's no heal in this deck.
Right.
So that can be problemsome if he starts getting these pen flingers going off.
Okay.
So I think we Fishy Flyer going into the 2/2 really doesn't matter because he's just going to put that buff on something else.
Right.
And then I think we use Dormu to just be able to set up to have 10 mana next turn.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that sounds fun. Next turn we can draw. Hopefully next turn we can draw the Carnival Clown and then play the Scrapyard Colossus.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Is Carnival Clown into Scrapyard Colossus into Carnival Clown would be the ideal situation.
Yeah.
So he's gonna start putting into this Nosdormu.
Okay. It's a lot of damage not coming at your face, and that's fine.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a lot of
that's
damage
as good as a heal.
Now he's counting whether he can take his face to that Fishy Flyer and then use the other.
So
Pinpoint.
are we convinced that secret is Oh My Yog?
Oh, yeah, probably is, isn't it?
Just wanted to make sure we were on the same page with that secret.
Yeah, I don't think it's Eye for an Eye. I mean, that's always a possibility, but I don't think it is. I think we just Scrapyard Colossus, right?
Yep. Make him go through it twice.
But there's pen flingers. Man, he's only cycling one pen flinger right now, though.
Yeah.
Is he just gonna push face?
He'll have
Probably
to.
would if I was him. Oh, leave him a Justice, okay. But he still has to deal with the second 7/7. Oh my gosh. So you just load up now?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can win this at this point.
Do we Dark Moon Rabbit to kill the...
Oh yeah, I think we Dark Moon Rabbit this turn. The problem is that he's still gonna be able to pen flinger.
Yeah. It doesn't clear that. Ooh, well, you could Fishy Flyer into the 9/4 and destroy his weapon. Not that his weapon matters.
The problem is we leave up Lady Leadrin. If we leave up Lady Leadrin, all of those Librams of Wisdom can go onto an attacking minion.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if we had a Murloc War Leader in hand, it might change. No, I don't think it would change anything.
Yeah. No, I think
we have to rabbit.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen any Librams of Hope yet.
So this is going to fill his hand and burn a card, I think.
I don't think it matters at this point. He's just gonna keep buffing these minions up.
There goes the...
Well, it burned the
Libram of
second
Wisdom.
Libram.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's got a handful of Librams. He's doing 7 damage to us. 8 damage?
Yeah.
Or 7 damage, because he won't cast it the second time. If we could last long, we could possibly Sir Friendly into a healing-based hero power, but I don't think we're going to get that long.
I don't think so either. We've got like 2 turns left total.
Yeah. That brings up another question. How bad is Penflinger in the meta?
That's true.
I don't mind Penflinger as a card. but it just you feel bad playing against it. Obviously, we could concede here, but I want to play it out just to kind of show people this is what Penflayer does in the meta. It draws games out.
Yeah.
You feel like you can't deal with it.
Do you Yasarj here? I mean, does it matter?
Does Yashar's give us anything? No. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. We've not corrupted anything, so.
I mean, we technically can stay alive by double Fishy Flyer into that and then play the Swamp Ooze. He can only get 7 damage to our face.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, technically we're alive.
And go ahead and play the Acidic Swamp Ooze too?
Yeah. We'd Ooze too. Because he can do 7 damage to us with Librams and Pens.
Right.
But we don't really have a way to come out of this for the following turn.
Right.
We would be relying on a misplay.
My hand is too full.
Broomstick.
It's the cheaper way to get a minion out to
Yeah,
buff it.
he'll get 9. That's 9 damage to our face then. If he has Broomstick, so okay. We'll let him have this moment. I've been trying to be better about not conceding.
Yeah.
And it's less about a mental state of people, oh, if you concede, you get in bad mental state, or you could possibly win a game. We have to remember, there are people that are doing achievements, doing quests.
Right.
And, I don't mind letting them do that. Wait, he didn't have enough Librams to kill us.
And he's out of time.
Well, that doesn't mean it. No, he'll have enough. That's the thing, is he's done his animations. The rope's just going to keep burning. Oh, whoa. Oh, no, he didn't have enough spells to do it.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Wait, we're not dead.
Okay.
Hold on.
Correct me.
Because he can't kill us. If we Carnival Cloud, he can't kill us. Because he can't run the broomstick in to kill his own broomstick to get the Librams back.
That's true.
I mean,
unless he has another spell in his hand.
That's true, but he has 1 card and a pen and whatever he draws. So if either of those 2 cards are a spell, then yes, he can beat us. But he can't get the Librams back. See, now if I was him, I would have penned my own broom.
Yeah, to get the...
You know what I mean?
Right.
You pen your own broom, you get all the Librams back. And he left the pen out there. Wait a minute.
No, there's no way. No way.
So here, then we play the Scrapyard Colossus.
Yeah.
He can still draw the other pen, and that could be eye for an eye. But we have armor vendors. So we need to draw armor vendor now. He could have won. He missed lethal.
Yes, he did. You said unless there was a mistake.
This is again why you don't concede. And again, I've played this matchup as the paladin. You want to make sure you can kill off your minions. So if you buff this up to like an 8/8, that you don't want to do that. You want to spread those buffs. You want to make sure you can run your minion into something to kill it.
Right.
That's how you get pen value. So this tells me the guy just kind of assumed we were going to concede, or he's not very skilled with it. See, he just buffed it up to 8/8. Now we can't kill that off.
Yep.
The problem we run into is if that is eye for an eye, we lose.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point.
It does, because we could have drawn armor vendor.
Well,
if we drew armor vendor, we could have played the armor vendor first, then swung face with the underlight angling rod. But let's just swing face, see what happens. It didn't shake.
it's oh my yog.
So we can win this game.
Okay, do we play?
So here's the thing. We can play the strong man.
Well,
we need to play anything.
okay. So let's walk through this. So he's gonna run the pride in. It's gonna die. He's gonna draw a pin flinger.
But he can't kill off his recruit unless he pins his own recruit.
He doesn't. It doesn't matter. He draws the pin flinger. He pings.
Oh wait,
us,
yeah,
and we're dead.
Well, is that the only one? What health minion he has in the deck? What else does he have? So he's used both rooms. Yeah, you're right. He draws a pen flinger. We're at 1. For some reason, I was thinking we were at 2 again. But he gave us an opening.
Yeah.
Wait,
he totally gave us an opening.
He didn't pen us. He didn't draw it. He drew the other Salhets and something else.
Oh wow!
Did he just lose this game?
There's no way. We're one off lethal.
Yeah, he's playing loot hoarders.
We're one off
Do what?
lethal.
No, we're not. We have the weapon in our
Oh,
hand.
we have the weapon. Oh my god! No, we don't.
No, we don't have the weapon.
Oh,
We are
Jesus.
one off lethal. Man, we need to draw the armor vendor.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're.
So we
just-
play rush minions.
Yeah, you've got.
So we play this one.
You got. Yeah, play
Play
the
the
flyer.
Spectre.
Play
Then we
the
play
war
the war
leader.
leader. So this trades here, and then into
Yep.
into there. We don't have to trade into the no, because this still has a death rattle.
It does.
So we go ahead and trade into the silver hand recruit.
Yep. Then go
And then we go
face.
face.
Move quickly.
He gave us an opening.
Oh my god.
If we win this game, so he's got a 1 and 8, 2 and 8 because he has the loot hoarder.
Okay.
But he's not gonna. I was
hoping he was gonna burn. There's the Libra.
Oh, okay.
That pretty much, I think, is gonna probably end it, don't you?
I'm not convinced. He's proven.
I mean, what else are we gonna do? I mean, what else do we have at this point?
We have McGurgle Prime. We have Nazoth, God of the Deep. It's not gonna get us much back. It'll get us a rabbit back.
Yeah.
So he can trade here, pop this shield. We can pop. If we get Nazoth, we'll get the rabbit. So we. Oh, he drew the pen flinger.
Yeah.
Or he has the weapon, one of the two. I saw something go towards our.
Yeah, there's the weapon.
The weapon, okay. But again, he gave us an opening. We could have drawn armor vendors. We had lots of ways we could have pulled that out.
Yeah.
On that one turn, we probably should have dumped a few more minions on the board instead of trying to play a little safe. But yeah, I mean.
All right, let's play one more.
One more? Okay.
One more.
We had a short one, we had a long one.
We're 1-1.
This deck is just fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just fun. Even if you don't get the combo off. I mean, we had agency there. We had things happening, you know. I would have liked to seen the circus amalgams drawn earlier, so we could have corrupted them.
Right.
Maybe getting a strong man down for 0 could have helped us. I don't know. But I mean, it's all there. This is a viable deck. I would not be surprised if we see this in qualifiers for Masters Tour. Now that Masters Tour qualifiers have started back up again.
Yeah.
I think I saw a tweet or a message, it might have been in Discord, from Wicked Good saying, I guess this is a deck now because it won one of the qualifiers. Or it was in the list for winning the qualifier.
Or are you still spinning?
Yep.
Oh, wow. All right.
This happens to me in the client every once in a while. Well, and I think it's my opponent's connection.
Uh-huh.
They're just slow to connect, so it just drags it out a bit. And sometimes it'll error out and tell me that my opponent didn't connect. Sometimes it'll connect.
Okay.
We'll give it a little bit longer. My wait time bumped up to 1 to 2 minutes. I don't know why. Let me cancel out.
Okay.
Let this error, and then we'll see if we can get back in. This happens to me maybe once a week, possibly, maybe twice a week at the most. And I think it's something to do with my opponent's connection, not so much my connection or the game's connection. Yeah, see, this one looks like it's connecting fine. Ooh. It popped in really weird. Are you not seeing my game?
No. Do I need to pop out?
Try leaving respectating. See if it lets you respectate.
Doesn't look... The game you are attempted to spectate is full or already finished.
Weird.
I'm going to quit out and come back in.
Well, I have Underlight Angling Rod, Wand Maker, and Scrapyard Colossus against another Paladin. I'm just going to keep the Wand Maker.
Okay. And we're going to hope to mulligan into Allura.
My opponent's name or anything.
Sit a while and relax.
Are you in?
Loading into the client now.
Is it letting you spectate?
No. The game you attempted to spectate may be full or already finished.
Let me restart my client, because my client's doing weird things. It's not letting me see my opponent or my names. I don't mind taking the loss. Let me restart my client and see.
Okay.
Obviously, there's been some client bugs lately. I know a couple streamers I watch have been complaining about client bugs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous Hat has talked about this at length, that maybe it's time for a Hearthstone 2.0 client change.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe they need to rebuild, even if they use Unity again, but rebuild it with all the new features and game modes in mind.
Yeah.
Instead of the original client with all that built on top of it.
Right.
It's... I don't know. I would like to see... I don't think they need to do like make a new game, Hearthstone 2.0, but do like they did for Heroes of the Storm, where they repurpose it and come out with a new client, and they just call it 2.0.
So, did you close your client, or did you concede and close?
I conceded, and then I quit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were trying to reconnect to the existing game.
No. I just conceded that game. That's fine. I'm not really worried. I'm not going to get up in the top 32 or anything like that, so I'm not worried about my legend rank this month. There, you got the eyeball?
Yep. I clicked the eyeball. Hey, there we go.
Okay, now we got a hunter.
Okay, something new.
Versus Rexar.
So we're on the coin. We have Crab Rider, Red Scale, Carousel Griffin, and Rabbit. I think we keep the Crab Rider just in case they play a turn one. The Wappletinger.
Yeah.
But then I want to keep the Red Scale Dragon Tamer to throw it out on
2.
On 2.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll use the coin. We'll see what he plays on 1.
Okay.
I would like to not use the coin just in case we draw high best, but
right.
With Red Scale Dragon Tamer, I hate that we got 2. So this is Highlander?
So there's Dwarven Sharpshooter. So I think we... Ooh, there's Wand Maker. Do we just pass here?
I think we pass and we plan to play the Red Scale next turn.
I like that.
The thing is I worry about is when giving him 10 mana, he might have a lot to do with 10 mana.
That's very true. Very, very true.
But I don't think we need to worry about that. I think we just need to try to make our plan. Now, if we don't draw... we have the Carnival Clown, but I'd like to draw either a Scrapyard Colossus or even the Dark Moon Rabbit to follow up the turn after we...
Yeah.
Question is he going to kill this?
Well, next turn, if he doesn't, I mean, we just underlot Angling Rod and clear it, right?
Yeah, see, he doesn't want to kill that. So we underlie Angling Rod. Do we need to test for Freezing Trap first?
No, because I mean, I don't think it matters because we'll clear the 1/3 and then you can test with the 2/3, and then if it goes back to your hand, you just play the other one. Well, you can't play the other one this turn, but you can just play the other one next turn.
So I think we kill the
yeah,
and I think we don't attack.
Okay.
Because see, we can test it next turn with Crab Rider.
Okay.
And now that we got the... Oh, that's the Murloc Tidecaller now.
Right.
I want that to die.
There's the Wappletinger.
Oh. That is a board.
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to play the Crab Rider.
Okay.
And try to swing it into a 2/2. It is Freezing Trap. Okay. So we use the Red Scale to clear the 2/2?
I think so. I mean, it's not going to die and he's not going to kill it.
Let's use our face first to kill a Wappletinger. Okay. Let's swing this in there. And then...
Play the Wand Maker, maybe?
Well, if we're doing it for stats, we play the other Tamer. Because it's a 2/3.
Okay.
He's got us in a tough spot. And he did right by not... He didn't want our Dragon Tamer to die.
Great inside.
Is he smart enough to try to get sniped? Wow.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna kill us next turn. 10 mana's not gonna make a difference. We're dead next turn. He has lethal on the board. Even if we run both minions into a 3/3, he has lethal on the board.
I mean, we can clear the 3/3s.
Well, yeah.
So we... no. We Tidecaller.
Uh-huh.
We War Leader. We try to clear 2 3/3s. Oh, it's another pack tactics.
Yeah.
And then we armor vendor. He's got 9. He's got 11.
Yep. Yep. That puts us
I
just
think
out
he
of
has
lethal
this,
range.
I think he has this though. He was just too quick. He had a really good start for being a Highlander. No, this isn't a Highlander.
This
deck.
is
Running,
secret hunter or something.
I'm just we. The Cthulhu just threw me off. I think. That's the right thing to clear. So can we stay alive? Fishy flyer. Can clear the 6/6.
Yeah. And then
Let's see what we get off Wand Maker, because Wand Maker might matter.
okay.
We can get a blessing of. It's a damage. We don't have a way
We
to
don't
damage.
have a damage minion. Nope.
So we would fishy flyer into that. I mean, that's 6. He just has to come up with. Maybe I should ping that. He just has to come up with 2 damage.
Yeah.
Opting to clear, which is probably the right call for him.
Oh.
Here we go. So, how many Murlocs do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in a deck, so we don't have to make space.
Okay. So just
So
coin
we-
tip the scales.
Coin tip the scales. So, what do we want to do here? Let's try to get this back up in our hand if we need to. Guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, pack tactics.
That's good.
Yeah, that's still good. Oh, well, that was a good try, though. He had a
Yeah.
really good. I mean, this is turn 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously, see, if you can cheat out the tip to scales, you win quickly.
Right.
If you can't cheat it out, then you have to play honestly. And I don't know if this deck is good enough to play honestly.
Right.
Now, there are more refined variations that have circus amalgams. They play more like a mid-range deck, and if you happen to hit that nuts 2-card combo, you get it.
Uh-huh.
But it's made for longer. Now, this one has... That one doesn't have Nose Dormu in it, because it doesn't. You don't want to cheat up to 10 mana. Your goal is just to do high
Right.
best.
Right.
And then they fill the rest of that with better cards to surround either N'Zoth or Yasharj, depending. Some of them still run both, but a lot of them only run one or the other.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already. And if you're interested in checking out our patron-only Discord, head over to patreon.com/heropower. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.